Hello, my name is Jupiter Hadley, and I want to show you 10 indie puzzle games from the Steam Puzzle Fest. Steam does a lot of sales. They have an overwhelmingly large amount of games in each one of them. They're normally focused on a genre or something going on in them or some aspect of them, and the current one headlining Steam is the Steam Puzzle Fest. I've covered previous Puzzle Fests in written form. However, I wanted to tell you 10 games from this fest, from this sale, from these demos that I played before, I really liked, or that have caught my eye. First, we have A Little to the Left. This is a super satisfying, cozy puzzle game that has you basically spending time organizing or cleaning or making parts of your house perfect. I really like the graphic style in this game, and I find it to be really satisfying to make everything neat, tidy, in its place, clean, and everything has a perfect state of being as well. It's just more satisfying than actually cleaning your house. There's over 75 levels, and there's also a mischievous cat that makes appearances here and there. It's a really fun game. Next, we have Dwarf Romantic. This is a game I originally played at Gamescom when it came out on Nintendo Switch. It's more of a strategic puzzle game. You have a bunch of tiles that you're trying to place around to grow this biome, but it's so much more detailed than any other tile placement game I've ever played before. The way the houses come together and blow smoke, the boats moving around, the different bits of environment as it slowly grows and feeds off each other. You end up creating something really beautiful. There's a bunch of quests that don't make themselves super obvious that you're also trying to solve, which will give you more tiles to then create a bigger world. Without completing those quests, you will run out of tiles and your world will be quite small and limited. So there is some more thinking in this game and more decisions that need to be made so that you can place things more correctly that will benefit you in the long run. So it's a bit of a slower game for me, and it takes more thinking before placement happens, but it's a really fun puzzle game, and I really love the amount of detail that's been put in the biomes and the world. And you can unlock more aspects that just continue to impress as they grow. Next is Birth, which is a sort of point-and-click style adventure game in this hand-drawn world that does a great job of mixing creepy and cute, where you're looking to harvest organs to build a friend. That might sound really, really grim, but it's not. I really like how this game looks aesthetically and how the game acts, the way the puzzles are. It feels very Frambo-esque, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And so I'm obsessed with Birth. I think that it's going to have a great cult following. I'm sure I'll be a part of that cult. It's really worth a look if you like point-and-click adventure games and if you like things that are a little bit cute, a little bit creepy. Next, we're talking about Dude Stop. This was a Game Jam game that became a full release, and I talk about it whenever I see it because it's a super funny puzzle game where you have lots of options on what you do. There's an annoying narrator who will give you instructions. You can listen or you can not listen. It's up to you to solve the puzzles how you feel fit. There's like a big trophy shelf with each world, and that gives you different awards depending on what you do and hints on how to unlock other awards. I think that the narrator is super funny. It's one of those games that are fun to rage against, and it's just really well polished, and I love to see Game Jam games continue to become full releases like this. Next is The White Door. This is a part of the Rusty Lake award-winning series of point-and-click adventure games that have been around since, I don't know, the Flash era, I'm pretty sure. It's slightly creepy, slightly mysterious. The puzzles are a little bit on the hard side. It really makes you think outside the block. But you play as this character, Robert Hill, and he's dreaming, and you basically need to figure out what's going on and help him escape this room that he's living his life in. There's little bits of story that are told throughout the game, and you spend a lot of time trying to just sort of discover what you're meant to do to end up escaping. I really enjoy this game. It challenged me a lot, and I definitely did not look up any of the I did look up solutions. It was very hard. But it's super fun to explore and play through. It does have a creepy vibe. Next is Harmony's Odyssey. This is a game that I've seen at a couple of different events. It was at a Google showcase and also at Pocket Gamer, to name a few. One of the Pocket Gamer Connects in London. This game is really colorful. It's got really wonderful little worlds, and there are a variety of different puzzles that you can then take on while playing it. A lot of it's trying to figure out what type of puzzle you're doing and what the solution is. So in this specific puzzle, it's sort of connecting the environment the right way through this sort of 3D diorama type view. The little characters are so adorable. The game is very easy to just play through a few levels and enjoy that time. And I really enjoy watching the world sort of snap together and come to life. It's definitely a relaxing puzzle game that you can figure out the solution to without like too much challenge. Next is Lucid Dreaming. This is a very well-made, more traditional point-and-click adventure game. It has a lot of the classic things that you'd see in a point-and-click adventure game, like the inventory and the way that you use objects. This one is super story-based. It's about this little girl called Lucy who's having nightmares because of a murder, so you need to solve the murder. The voice acting is super well done. The writing is great. It's just a really well-polished, quite longer in length, story-based game. And everything about it screams British humor, nods to classics. It's just a very well-made game. I first played it at an EGX, or an EGX Rezzed at Tobacco Dock, and had a very good time with it. It's also been at a lot of other events in and around London, and is well worth a look. Next is How to Say Goodbye. This is a heartwarming puzzle game about ghosts who are trying to move on. The whole world looks like a storybook. It feels super emotional. I originally played the demo as a part of the last Steam Fest. Now the game is fully out. It's also been places like WASD where it was featured on the Curio stand, and well deserved at that. The stories are relatable and heartwarming. The puzzles are semi-mysterious until you figure out how the world works. And all of it keeps you very captivated and wondering what comes next and how to give the next ghost the freedom to move on. It's a really lovely game about grief, and is shown grief in a interesting and unique light. Next is Insomnia Theater in the Head. This is another game that I played at WSD recently in the Curio stand, and I really like the way that it depicted insomnia. You kind of have two screens with a story happening between yourself and your mind. You're trying to go to sleep, and then your mind character becomes a physical character that you have to deal with on one side of the screen, solving puzzles on how to make them be quiet and stop your mind from racing so that you can then actually get the sleep that you deserve and that you need to function. I found this to be such an interesting way to represent insomnia. It's quite a relatable story. I love the way the story is given and the way that this like cluttered mind is depicted. The hint system is also really nice if you get stuck. There's just something really unique and personal about this game. It is a little on the short side compared to some of the other like story games that I've mentioned on this list, but it's a really fun one to explore, and it's at a really good price in this sale too. It's well worth picking up. So all of the games that I mentioned on this list so far have been games that you can purchase and play right now. But Billy Bumbum, a Cheeky Puzzler, is a game that was just announced as a part of the Steam Puzzle Fest as something that you can wishlist and keep an eye on before it goes live and is for sale. It's a kid-friendly, silly puzzle game that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's got vibrant colors and different characters and a little bit of a storyline. It's just a game that you can wishlist now, and I figured it was well worth a mention on this list. And there you have it. Those are 10 games that caught my eye from the Steam Puzzle Fest. There are tons and tons of other games that you can explore, pages and pages of them, as well as plenty of free demos and free-to-play games. So if you like puzzle games, now's the time to check out Steam, explore some new games, and find some games that you will love. Don't forget to rate games and leave little reviews for them on Steam. It really helps developers get their work showcased to more people and helps them in the long run. But that's it for me. Bye!